Thanks so much for this opportunity to be able to share with you a little bit about my own story, but also more so about Maths Australia and the changes that we're making to be able to support you in teaching maths much more effectively. My name's Esther White. I'm the CEO of Maths Australia. And in the year 2000, when we decided to homeschool our 5 daughters, we were looking for a way of teaching maths that would mean it was accessible to each of our daughters, but also multisensory. We saw the MathUC program and approached MathUC and became the Australasian exclusive representative of the MathUC program. Under the leadership of Steve Demi, we took on the directive of becoming maths missionaries, maybe more so than any other representative, to the point that we really seriously looked at how could we make maths even more accessible, not only to home educators and to parents, but also to tutors that were teaching students with diverse learning needs, and now more so with schools as well, where we're teaching maths effectively to students, whether for intervention or preschool to year 7. So that was really our directive, and something that we're very proud to be able to say that we've been doing this now for 25 years. About 10 years ago, we decided to develop a training program that would enable somebody who is an intervention specialist to be able to address the students' specific learning needs, and particularly looking more at students with learning differences like ADD, ADHD, dyscalculia, dyslexia, other differences that mean we needed to address the students' learning needs rather than trying to cookie cut them into the way that we were teaching maths. Hence our training program, and you can find out more about that online. We also saw the need for a well-trained teacher. So for somebody to be able to work in a classroom or as an intervention specialist, they actually need some more effective training to give them this deeper understanding of why we're teaching this particular way, and be able to have the support to be able to implement this in their setting. Back in 2019, we realized there was a real need for us to be able to teach or to be able to supply manipulatives that were much more effective and that were that bit bigger, that meant we actually could be able to hold the blocks themselves much more readily, but also that they would click into place. The MathUC ones weren't doing that. They didn't click into place, and they were quite small, so students that maybe had some challenges with dexterity weren't able to use them as easily as we knew was possible. So hence we developed our own manipulatives. You can see them here. And they're about 1/3 of the size bigger than the MathUC ones. And as you can see here, they click into place. This is a board that's used with Legos and other building blocks, but you know, these blocks are beautiful. They click into place and they stay in place. They still have the demarcations on, so you can actually feel these integers. We also have a teacher magnetic block kit that means you can use these same colors with demarcations up on a whiteboard when you're doing demonstrations, or even have them on a fridge at home so that your student can work with them at home. Part of our work with special schools meant we partnered with a school with students with complex needs, and they actually developed these blocks that are very large. So for example, this is our integer block. This is the larger block. So students that maybe didn't have the dexterity or capacity to be able to hold the smaller block were able to now access and feel and sense this is what 1 is. This is what 2 is, for example, and it could actually click into place here. So really beautiful piece that's meant in this particular special school, the students have progressed much more beyond what they ever thought was possible. So, you know, we're really proud of those resources that we've developed and the training. The key piece that I wanted to share with you today was about our maths program that's been developed after these 25 years of working with MathUC, but also seeing the need for us to have a much more explicit and accurate approach whilst integrating Australian curriculum components and also refining the way that we teach. There was a need for us to upgrade the videos that, you know, were developed maybe 20 years ago. And those videos needed to be taught in a much more accurate way that would address the needs of students that had these different learning needs. We also wanted that training and those videos to be much more effective for a teacher so that you could be equipped to be able to teach maths with greater confidence and with integrating these research and evidence-based components. We looked a lot at the science of learning, at Rosenshine's principles, at cognitive load theory, at the multi-tiered systems of support, response to intervention, and really integrated so many of these components into what's now called the Brighter Maths program. We hope that you'll join us on this, and I just wanted to share with you some of the components of the program. So the lesson by lesson videos that you've become familiar with, we have taught all the way through from our levels red through to green, orange, following the colors of the blocks and replacing what was Greek letter alphabet. So, we really saw this need for us to simplify that approach and to give you much more accurate videos to be able to teach maths more effectively. We also saw the need for lesson plans that meant that you'd be able to pick up a lesson plan and see with some scripting and really clear instructions how you could actually teach that particular lesson. So we've developed a stream of lesson plans for an intervention specialist or a teacher, and a stream also for the home educator. And both of those will integrate the iCrave methodology. The other component that we developed was the student resources. So you'll see here our student workbooks. You'll notice as you see these are available online as Annotatable or as a printed hard copy book that you can purchase individually. Or if you're a tutor or a school, we actually provide license for you to be able to print these off so that the student's not penalized as they progress through the courses. It also makes it a much more effective solution for us to be able to make this accessible to you so that your student has the resources to be able to progress. You'll notice with this, it's still black and white, and we're wanting that to be really simple for the student. We've integrated some color. I'm just going to find an example here. Some color for when we show you an example so that you're familiar with what's actually being asked with each particular question. So those three components again, the lesson by lesson videos, the lesson plans that make it accessible for you to teach that lesson effectively, and then the student resources. We also have downloadable online for you unit tests and additional resources like flashcards that are very explicit and very accurate, some other resources like an app for you to be able to practice with your student those particular operations, and also some additional resources that are coming as we develop this more in alignment with the national curriculum, but still retaining a sequential mastery-based approach. So thanks so much for joining me for this explanation. I hope that I've been able to answer your questions. I hope that you'll join us in Brighter Maths and in making maths much more accessible, supportive and understandable for your students. My name's Esther White. I look forward to supporting you, forward to serving you, look forward to transforming numeracy outcomes for your students and for those beyond, because every child deserves a brighter future.